The Redbirds looking to avoid a sweep this afternoon from San Diego, California at Petco Park. The St. Louis Cardinals 5 games above 500, and they'll take on the surging Padres. Last night, Jerry Hairston Jr. again his second home run in this series, and a tough loss for Mitchell Boggs.
Had 2 quick outs. And, was trying to go right after him, and made a bad pitch, left it up, and you got to credit him for putting a good swing on it and stepping up in a big moment. Just difficult to give it up like that after everybody falls so hard, so it's a tough one.
And along with Al Rabowski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals offensively, Al, need to get things going today.
Well, they're really struggling. Of course, this is a very good pitching staff, the best in the National League, and they are really good here at home. But the Cardinals need to get these bats going. The middle of the lineup has been quite silent.
Yeah, we'll talk about that momentarily, but let's take a look at the matchup today. P.J. Walters, Wade LeBlanc, the lefty, he's 6-6, and P.J. making his first start of the year.
Well, he did get 4 innings under his belt in relief over the weekend, but making that first start, I think he's much better than he was a year ago when he got his first exposure at the Major League level, and we're yet to see what he has here today.
So a righty and a lefty today. It's Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. It's been 11 games in a row without an RBI for Albert. He hopes to change that this afternoon. By Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. By Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by Casino Queen and Casino, home of the loosest slots. Just a gorgeous day here in Southern California in San Diego. And we're at Petco Park for afternoon baseball. And let's take a look at our U.S. Cellular text poll. And our question today, which is your favorite Padres colors? And they've got the throwback today. And text your Padre colors to A, B, C, or D, 432-432. It's a throwback Thursday. And there's a look at their starter, Wade LeBlanc, who is 2-2. The lefty with a 3.32 ERA. On the season, he's 2-2 with that ERA and 38 innings under his belt. He's walked 15 and opponents hitting .277 against him.
Can I say I'm not a fan of any of them?
Sure. Just don't send in your text.
I just did.
So that's the way you're going to play it, huh?
I would have to say D was probably my favorite, but not a real fan of too many of those uniforms.
Here's Brendan Ryan. He's in the leadoff spot today. Some changes in this Cardinals lineup. It's 75 degrees here in San Diego. Cardinals trying to salvage one game in what has been a very tough series. Losing the first two in games that they actually out-hit the Padres. And last night, another one-run loss for the Cardinals. That's the 9th time that's happened this year. Up the middle and a base hit for Brendan Ryan. Well, I talked to Brendan the other day, and he said he's going to back to what he was doing a year ago and just really concentrating on seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand. Ryan, Ludwig, and then Pujols here in the first, and then Holiday, Freese, Stavanoa, LaRue, Schumacher, and P.J. Walters, the pitcher today. Southwest Airlines starting lineup.
Sounds like a good approach. Basically what Ludwig said, you know, a couple weeks ago. He was going to go back to the basics, just look for the release point, pick up the ball in flight.
Let me say that LeBlanc has a pretty good move to first.
Very good.
And his fastball tops out at around 87, 88. He's not a hard thrower, but possesses a changeup and a very good curveball.
Yeah, the changeup is his best pitch. Now, he's worked on fastball command, and that's what has helped out. But he's a monster here at home, 1.5 ERA, and then on the road it's 6.5. Go figure.
Runner at first, and the pitch to Ludwig fouled back.
He really got roughed up in his last game. That was in Seattle.
And basically, that's been the only poor game that he's had this year.
Right. You know, these Padres, they lead the National League in pitching, just about every category. And you can see the Cardinals are second, but their home ERA is incredible.
Get the feeling that Bud Black is the perfect guy for this situation. Young pitchers, he himself a former pitcher that was part of the '85 Royals team that beat the Cardinals in the World Series.
And he's an excellent pitching coach on his resume prior to this managerial assignment. He was a top candidate to become a big league manager for many years and finally landed his first job here in San Diego.
From San Mateo, California. His parents are Canadian. They were involved in sports, came down here to California, and he was born here. That pitch is taken inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Ludwig had the big hit last night against Heath Bell that tied it up, sent it into extra innings. A 2-1 pitch to Ryan Ludwig. Instead, a check on Brendan Ryan over at first base.
And he has picked off a major league leading 5 runners already. He had 2 each in his first 2 starts. Now the word gets around that you don't take a big lead.
Well, all you need is Joe West. If you get Joe West, you'll get the balk call, as he did that against Mark Burley twice yesterday.
And that's not even Bach and Bob Davidson.
That's right. Matter of fact, Bob Watson is stepping in for Major League Baseball to review the tapes and review the reports, and they're going to see exactly what happened. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Ludwig. Fouled back and a good cut, 3-2. So we play here in the middle of the afternoon out on the West Coast. We'll arrive late in the morning or night, whatever you prefer, in Chicago. And we'll see the Cubbies in a day game tomorrow.
Yeah, 1:20 start, so good, quick turnaround. Best thing for that flight would be a victory here today. The Cardinals are really dominated against San Diego last couple years, but the last 2 years they were 12-2 against them and already lost the first 2 games of this series.
The Cubbies won again today at Wrigley Field. They beat the Dodgers 1-0.
Ted Lilly.
Ted Lilly. Ludwig hits it down the right field line. That'll slice out of play. Cubbies really starting to get it together. They've won 8 of 10. And the back end of their bullpen is anchored by Marmol, their closer. And remember, Carlos Zambrano was supposed to be the 8th inning guy. They've now gone with Sean Marshall. And Lou Pinella's got things going a little bit now.
The other day, Zambrano had a simulated game. And they're saying he's going to start after this weekend. We'll miss him, but next week we'll make his back into the rotation.
Popped up, and it's caught by the shortstop, Jerry Hairston Jr., first out. And it brings in Pujols. Defense for the Padres: DeNorfia, Gwynn, and Venable in the outfield. Left to right along the infield, it's Headley, Hairston, Eckstein, the former Cardinal, then Adrian Gonzalez, and LeBlanc and Hundley, the battery. Defense presented by Dobbs. Pujols has his average down to 306. He's 3 for 8 in this series. He's got 8 home runs. He's driven in 29.
Been a while since we've had an RBI.
11 games straight. Longest of his career. Very short lead at first by Brendan. Popped up again by Pujols. Playable for Gonzalez. And it's up to Holiday.
It's a point that Mark McGuire spoke of again today, and when you look at this lineup, when you really take out Holiday and Pujols, it is a relatively young, inexperienced offense.
But they do have the 2 guys in the middle that have to get it going, and that's Pujols and Holiday. 2 outs and a runner at first.
They really haven't been there any time this year together, hot together. Holiday's had his average recently drop under 300. Albert's flirting. But, both these guys are high average run producers. Just a matter of time before they get it going. But this team just doesn't, when they don't hit, things just don't fall into place for them.
Here's the 0-1 to Matt Holiday. Looking for his first hit in this series. Mentioned before, the Cardinals have 9 losses when they out-hit their opponent. And it was the 9th loss by 1 run for the Cardinals this year. And the Cardinals, when they out-hit their opponent a year ago, they lost all of 12. And we're already at 9, and this season isn't even 2 months old. So the pitching has been there from Wainwright in game 1. Certainly Garcia again last night. Ryan is running. Throw down to second is high and a stolen base. So a steal for Brendan Ryan, who's in that leadoff spot today, and that's his 2nd steal of the year.
It's good to see. And Headley back behind the plate. He throws out about 1/3 of the runners. But high throw. Brendan underneath the tag. And just nice to see some stealing, maybe some hit and running, trying to generate some offense. Just make something happen.
So Torrealba not behind the plate for game 3. And it's Nick Hundley. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Torrealba's had a couple of caught stealings in this series. Wade LeBlanc is 25 years of age from Baton Rouge.
Had a chance to talk a little bit with Brendan Ryan before the game, and very relaxed. He's really holding his head up. I think he'll start relaxing to the point he'll start producing. Made a fine defensive play late in that ball game last night.
Sure did. Deep in the hole and a long throw from the outfield grass. So 3-2 here on Holiday. He came up in a key spot yesterday. Bases loaded. And he was ahead in the count 3-0 and eventually struck out on a changeup. (3-2) hit out of play. Just a gorgeous day for baseball.
Perfect. Great weather, great scenery.
The 3-2. Spoiled by Holiday.
Might have swung at ball 4, but you've got to protect the plate when you're up there with 2 strikes. So
back in 2008, LeBlanc was Baseball America's Pitcher of the Year as far as best control. Doesn't walk many. And he walks Holiday.
Wow.
And as Al told you, he loves pitching at Petco Park, but who doesn't? John Garland, .84 ERA in this ballpark. Ubaldo Jimenez, 1.29. That's not even his best ERA overall. Is incredible. It's under 1. And LeBlanc at 1.48. Our Toyota key to the game.
And I mentioned that on the road, his ERA is over 6.5.
Now it's David Freese.
Doesn't quite look like the guy with the best control.
Not at all. David Freese in this spot, we've talked about it. 17 RBIs with men in scoring position and 2 outs. It's tied for first at the start of play in the National League today.
And also with 20 of his 28 RBIs have come in his first plate appearance. Love to add to both those stats.
Big gap in the right center. And the 1-0 pitch. Changeup misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Would you classify this guy as a nibbler?
Watching him here in the first inning, yes.
Anything but aggressive pitcher. And that changeup becomes an effective pitch if he has fastball command.
The 2-0. Freese pops it up. At the line. And the catch is made. Again in the first inning, the Cardinals an opportunity, but they strand 2. Great job with downtown, and this ballpark is fantastic. Pitchers Park. P.J. Walters getting his first start of the year. We saw him make a start last year at Wrigley Field. He was roughed up. And he's set to go here in 2010. The 1-0 pitch to the leadoff man is swung on and missed. And this is Will Venable, their right fielder. Marshall Wireless sprint starter for P.J. His numbers, that's from over the weekend when he was called up. Flew in from Sacramento. Broken bat, strike 2. When you think about the opportunities, Al, the Cardinals have had in this series, and yet they have not been able to cash in. Venable, Eckstein, Gonzalez, then Headley and Hunley. Hairston Jr.'s hit a pair of home runs. Denorpia, Gwynn, and LeBlanc. Southwest Airlines starting lineup.
I'm sure that is his daughter's initials, that was born prematurely and then passed away. So with a heavy heart, he started this season late. And
he threw 1 inning in spring training. That's it.
Yeah, and he had 3 games at AAA. A 1-0 record, a 0.48 ERA in 18 2/3 innings. 9 hits and had 23 strikeouts. He left AAA with a 13 2/3 inning scoreless streak. And Dan, we saw him last year get to the big leagues. He appeared in 8 ball games, made 1 start. That was at Chicago.
And this is popped up into shallow left. Holiday under it to make the catch. Take a look at the defense for PJ today. Out in left, Holiday, Ludwig in center, Nick Stavanoa in right. This is presented by Dobbs, Freeze, Ryan, Schumacher, Pujols, and the battery PJ Walters and Jason LaRue.
Last season, PJ, he struck out a career best 14 batters at New Orleans in 6 innings. And then he followed that up with a 13 strikeout game in his next start, a complete game against Round Rock. Doesn't throw terribly hard, but if he has that good command and hits his spots, you know, you can get away with it.
Here's David Eckstein, who's 1 for 9 in this series. He doesn't throw hard. It's 87, 88, but his best pitch, arguably, his changeup.
I said that was their starter, you know, that you can get away with that fastball changeup repertoire if you have good fastball command.
You saw the initials, and it is for his daughter, Annabelle Faith Walters. 2-1 pitch. And certainly there's a lot of people watching here today and his teammates that are pulling for him. He left spring training down in Jupiter, Florida. Drove all the way home.
I want to say his daughter was born like 13 weeks premature. And just a terrible, but I'm sure back playing baseball has given him great relief, and wish the best for he and his wife.
There's a photo of his daughter that he keeps. His locker stall, travels with him everywhere. He drove 640 miles to Mobile, Alabama to be with his daughter. I was talking with him the other day about baseball, and he said it has been a release. I thought Frank Cusimano did a great interview with PJ on Sunday, and Frank, of course, asking him about this situation, and he did address it, but certainly that's something that's not easy to do. As Eckstein hits it out to right, Cardinals are playing very shallow in the catch made by Nick Stavanoa. And it brings in Adrian Gonzalez.
That young man is well prepared. He's got a Rawlings glove. There's a future Gold Glover. Best glove on the market. Did you use a Rawlings glove, Dan?
Of course. Of course, Al.
I can't figure out why you didn't make it to the big leagues.
Well, Al, there's a lot of other things that go into catching and throwing.
But obviously
hitting.
You were an outstanding fielder.
Oh, yeah. That was awful. But Luke's going to be the outstanding fielder because Ted Sizemore got him a Rawlings glove with his name stitched
well
on
on the way. Well, Brendan Ryan is playing.
Yeah, he's playing very deep and short, and so is the second baseman today.
Freeze well off the third base line.
That's Schumacher.
And they pitch him away.
3-1. That's hit sharply to Pujols, who makes a fine play. PJ covering at first, and he has a 1-2-3 inning. Pitching with a heavy heart this afternoon. Before Cardinals game, you have a chance. Bid now on an exclusive pregame field and dugout visit. Friday, June 4th, the Cardinals host the Brewers. And our ticket auction includes a VIP field visit, 2 tickets in the first row of the field box level, and more. Bid today at cardinals.com/auction. Nick Stavanoa will lead it off. And the first pitch to Stavanoa is taken for a ball outside. Nick, along with John Jay and Al, Jim Hayes, were very busy yesterday morning, weren't you?
A little fun going out to Miramar Naval Station. Had the F-18 flight simulator, and then we showed you some of the thrilling and the acrobatic flying of the guys in the C-130 tanker.
2 balls and a strike.
Brian McCann works in our truck. He landed F-18 on an aircraft carrier. Stavanoa, well, he failed twice.
And he also did some damage to the simulator, we understand.
Right. When he sat in the C-130 co-pilot seat, they told me how to let the seat go back a little bit, but they forgot to tell him to push the button. Just a little crash.
Nick and John nearly killed us all.
2-2. Stavanoa pops it up. Gonzalez, this would be a tough play. Who wants it? The right fielder will take it in fair territory. Go Venable.
And it's my experience when you get the pop-ups like this. But you can see he tried to pull the seat back, and they said, just pull it up. And he broke the. They've never seen that. There's a button you're supposed to push as you pull back.
We'll figure it out. This one right here.
Pretty strong guy.
If your taxes go up, that's one of the reasons.
So you can see that at foxsportsmidwest.com, and that was on the pregame show. And here is Jason LaRue. He gets a start today for the Cardinals, hitting 200. 1 homer and 3 driven in. There's another pop-up. Seen a bunch of these already.
Well, Dan, to me, that's an example of the ball really moving. When you get pop-ups and strikeouts, you're just really not able to center the ball.
And it's up to Skip Schumacher.
Matt Golden Mims, I believe that's what Matt's name was, a Navy lieutenant that was one of the F-18 pilots that helped us. He's from St. Louis, and he has family and friends. I think he grew up in Florissant, but he has family and friends, if I'm mistaken, in Chesterfield and St. Charles, and also, I guess, around Florissant. A really nice young man.
Well, here's Skip Schumacher, who is in the 8th spot again, and mostly we've been accustomed to seeing Skip lead off, but Tony La Russa about a week and a half ago dropped him in the lineup. And he's slowly but surely starting to get that average to climb. He had a couple of hits yesterday, and he's batting .244.
And this left-handed pitcher, left-handed batters have hit .326 against him. Righties .255.
And a strikeout to Schumacher, first of the afternoon for Wade LeBlanc. Wrigley. You can head to foxsportsmidwest.com and chat live with our announcers and the experts. Get in-depth analysis of the game in a new way. Cardinals live chat. Join us tomorrow at foxsportsmidwest.com. Here's the switch hitter, Chase Headley. He's really played well defensively in this series.
Look at that aircraft carrier. And you think about it carries as much explosives as what was used in World War II. And just the unbelievable arsenal.
Ooh, just missed, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Headley here, and then Nick Hundley and Jerry Hairston Jr. Well, the big story for the Cardinals today, Cal Loesch headed for surgery. See a specialist in Los Angeles tomorrow to perform that surgery.
You know, I had a long talk with Kyle Loesch today, and he was a little upset with me with some comments I made on Saturday, and it was a very good, discussion. And of course, one of the things I'm saying, he had trouble getting the ball down, and if you can't get the ball down and you're healthy, it's a lack of concentration. But we all know now that he really was not healthy, and so there was a reason why he couldn't get the ball down, the reason why he looked like he didn't have the same intensity. And he said this has been going on for a while, but he wanted to take the ball every fifth day, got the pride and try and do his job. But now we know there's a physical reason. Hopefully we can get it corrected, and Kyle Loesch can be the pitcher he was a couple years ago.
Nick Hundley hitting .253. The Cardinals in that spot have called up Fernando Salas from AAA Memphis. If and when he comes into a ball game, he'll be making his major league debut. He's wearing uniform number 59.
He was on quite a streak down in Memphis, not allowing any runs.
And that was in May. He pitched 10 1/3 scoreless innings. That's one happy fan. Two and one the count on Nick Hundley. 3-1. PJ in that game over the weekend went 4 innings, 3 hits, gave up a couple of runs, and walked 2. The 3-1 pitch. Hit to short, ranging to his left. Brendan Ryan, and a tag applied there by Pujols. Jerry Hairston Jr. He'll receive a nice round of applause.
What's he done lately?
Couple home runs and the hero the past 2 nights. Homered off of Wainwright in game 1 last night, off of Mitchell Boggs. Proved to be the game winner in extra innings.
That was the 4th walk-off home run Cardinal pitchers have surrendered this year. 3 of those 4, the game ended in 2-1. The other one was that Sunday night in Milwaukee where it was about 8-7.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taken low. Carlos Zambrano was hospitalized today because of pain in his lower right side, and the club thinks it might be appendicitis. And as Al told you, the Cardinals won't see him anyway this weekend. He was supposed to make a start of their next road trip. One and two the count. Hairston with 2 home runs in this series and 2 this year.
You knew when to pick him.
The pitch was up and hit out of play. Well, so far so good for P.J. Walters.
Absolutely. Going out there, he's throwing strikes.
Outfield straight away, and the 1-2. Hit in the air to right center, and it drops in for a hit.
Not a bad pitch, just good results for Hairston. Ball runs in on him a little bit, fights it off, and just plunks it in front of Stavinoa.
A little bit more on PJ. He attended the University of South Alabama, Sun Belt Conference All-Star and Pitcher of the Year in 06. And actually a teammate at one point with David Freese. A quick move that time by P.J. Walters. Chris Denorfia, the left fielder. The former Red, he's hitting .292, no homers, and 3 driven in. Now what's interesting is that Adam Ottavino is here.
Yes.
So you could see that could be a short stint for maybe Salas or somebody else, and you'd see Ottavino pitch on Saturday, make his debut against the Cubs.
An interesting comment by Tony before the game where he kind of said that Adam would make that start if you stayed inside the organization.
So Ottavino is here and will travel with the club to Chicago.
And we kind of talked about, with a little surprise that they didn't have a replacement the last couple days for, that bullpen. It'll help, or a bench player, assuming that Loesch would go on the disabled list. There's LaRue trying to impersonate Molina.
And that misses, and PJ falls behind here, 3-1.
Big ballpark. Don't ever be afraid to throw a strike in this park. Throw a pitch up, out over the plate, and let them try and hit it out to center field. Good luck.
Runner is off with the pitch, and it's slowly hit towards third. Do or die again for Freese. He can't come up with it. So a blue base hit and an infield hit, and it brings in Tony Gwynn.
It's a swinging bunt. Jammed him, and David Freese, as you said, do or die play. It's not hit hard, so he's going to have to charge aggressively. He's got to come here barehanded and just stay down on him. Got 2 outs, get the 8th place hitter out, and Gwynn struggling at the plate. .177 average.
1 home run, 8 RBIs, first and second with 2 outs. And that misses on the inside corner. Very good defensive player, Tony Gwynn Jr. He's got speed. He plays center. And his sliding grab took a hit away last night.
One of 3 players in Major League history to play for a team on which his father played 2,000 games. Also Barrett and Rose.
Of course, his dad, and there you see the statue, Tony Gwynn, Mr. Padre, head coach of San Diego State, and they were eliminated in the postseason. Their conference tournament, the Mountain West, 3-0. So 2-0 changeup that time, thrown by PJ to the 8th place hitter that's hitting under 200.
That's what I say, in this ballpark, you can really pitch much more aggressive. In a hitter's park, you got to be careful. You got to incorporate that changeup. But now 4 pitches you walk to load the bases.
You can follow the Cardinals on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, live audio broadcasts. For more info, visit Cardinals.com today. Not necessarily the worst thing there to have that.
Oh, wait a minute. This is a very good hitting pitcher. So he may be a better hitter than Quinn.
Now that might be a stretch.
I know. He's 6 for 12. He's still looking for his first RBI, his first home run, and what's even harder is his first extra base hit. That obviously swings the bat pretty well.
PJ again falling behind. 1-0, Wade LeBlanc. So 6 for 12. And he's hit safely in 4 straight games here at Petco. One and one.
Well, the first one looked like a strike. That one looked like a ball.
Two and one. In the first inning, he seemed to be aggressive.
Right.
And then PJ allowed the blue base hit with the 2 outs to Hairston, infield hit to Denorfia. Now it's more picking, as you've talked about.
And both the hits were on decent pitches. But then he falls behind. Wynn walks him on 4 straight. And there was a pretty good hack at that fastball.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That's why you take that lead in foul territory.
Ball hits you out there, it's just a foul ball. In fair territory, you're out.
Two. A lot of pitches thrown here by P.J. Walters, and he has worked this count full now with the block. And he drives one into deep right. Stavanoa back and makes the catch in front of the trap. Padres strand, the bases loaded. Kia.com. And by Jack in the Box, try Jack's new grilled breakfast sandwich on grilled artisan bread with a cup of new Kona Classic coffee. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin with you. Jim Hayes has joined us. San Diego strands, the bases loaded. In the bottom of the second, 3rd inning rolls in. And Jim, certainly the big news of the day, no doubt, Kyle Loesch is going to miss some time with surgery.
Yeah, he's going to have the surgery in L.A. with Dr. Shin tomorrow. No timetable on his return, but Kyle told me it could be less than a couple of months. It could be longer. He really doesn't want to set a goal. He has to wait and see. This could be a shorter time, Dan, or it could be a longer time.
Now, our understanding, though, this is the type of injury that a Major League pitcher has not had to deal with, correct?
Yeah, this is something new for a guy who makes a living throwing a baseball, but he says runners get it in their legs from time to time. So the phenomenon of what's going on with the muscle isn't strange. It's just strange for a pitcher to have that in his forearm. Basically, the surgery, according to Kyle, will be to relieve the inflammation and the pressure in the muscle in the forearm.
And here is P.J. Walters. He'll lead it off for the Cardinals. And then we'll see Brendan Ryan and Ryan Ludwig. It's a scoreless ball game.
I would give you the name of the procedure, but I would get it wrong and Al would correct me.
Probably. But, you know, how he explained it to me is created by fatigue as he pitches. You know, the swelling in the forearm, cuts off the circulation to his hand, and that's where he produces the numbness.
So strikeout number 2 for the lefty, and here's Brendan Ryan, and Brendan is back in the starting lineup today.
And with Kyle, when I spoke to him, he said it was kind of a mixed blessing. He's glad that they're going in a direction, but he said anytime you're going to have surgery, it's a big question here. So he said it's kind of a mixed bag for him.
No doubt. Ryan is 1 for 1, and that pitch is taken low.
But he's very relieved in the fact that they found something. You know, he knew his body more than anyone else, and kept on saying that there was this fatigue that would set in as he would pitch. Everyone would say, well, there's no structural damage, you know, it's all in your head. And so he's, at least now, everybody knows that there was something.
The MRI showed that there was something going on with the inflammation.
And they wouldn't be doing surgery if there wasn't something they feel they could correct.
2-1. And that's why you're saying, Jim, it's a mixed bag. You know, it's a relief that, hey, something is wrong there. We found it. Now let's try to correct it.
Now you're going to have surgery and you're going to be out of commission for a while.
The 2-1 pitch to Brendan Ryan, who also stole a base. Take it for a strike, 2-2.
Brendan didn't think that play that he made was so great. He said when he came off the field last night, people were saying good play. He just thought it was a run-of-the-mill play.
He plays so deep at shortstop anyway. And in that particular play, it was deep in the hole and probably a good 5 yards back on the outfield grass when he made the play.
He did say it was a pretty good throw.
Well,
he knew
that in.
Yeah, he did say it was a good throw, but he thought it was basically a run-of-the-mill play. Maybe he's going to get a little jump start today because he got his iPod back. There was a lost iPod. He got it back.
He also forgot his contact lenses the other day. So sometimes he forgets things, but we only stay about just across the street, so there was no problem. It was early in the afternoon. He went back and got his contact lenses.
This iPod was lost in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And apparently Joe Mather was involved.
Mather, yes. So did Joe fess up?
I don't know. I let those two hash it out, but apparently Brendan was getting the iPod that was lost in Philadelphia, possibly by Mather back, but he was in good spirits today.
3-2 the count here on Brendan. Ludwig on deck. Scoreless ball game here in San Diego. Jim, you're in that clubhouse every night following these losses. What has it been like? How about last night after a real tough one?
Real quiet. I mean, even more quiet than it normally is. I think they realize they've had a ton of opportunities, granted against some good quality pitching, but they got to break through.
There's a base hit into left center for Brendan Ryan. He's 2 for 2. Well, he has said that by Felipe being back and playing well, it has taken some pressure off him, and he can just kind of get back to basics. And I think we've seen that now, guys, in the last week or so.
And it was by design, got the off-speed pitch up there a little bit, but by design to take a little pressure off him and get him to relax, and it gives Tony some additional maneuverability to have another hot hitter that he can put in there. Felipe's played very well, but we all know he can move around. Maybe David Freese needs a day off or so.
Saw Brendan Ryan with a steal earlier, and first time he was at first, LeBlanc threw over about 5 different times.
There is added pressure, too, when you don't start all the time. Brendan, now you're up. Get back on track. So there's an element of pressure that comes with getting a spot start.
Ludwig takes a ball, 2 balls, no strikes. Jim, we were talking about Ottavino. He is here, but not activated. And
intrigue. There's a little intrigue.
Right, and you assume he's here, so is he going to start on Saturday, or what's the case?
I get the feeling that he will, but Tony La Russa doesn't want to commit. He says could be a bullpen start. They're going to have to wait and see.
Let's pass the third baseman. Ryan was off with a pitch, and it's first and third. And in steps Albert Pujols. hard hit ball by Ludwig. He's 1 for 2.
Memphis was at Fresno anyway, so it was easy for Ottavino to get here.
See, running on the pitch, you like to see that as just any kind of motion. And avoid the double play. The ball took a bad hop at third, and you have a first and third with 2 base hits to set it up for Albert.
You know, we've seen that Pujols in this spot, runner at third and less than 2 outs. We had that amazing graphic at one point. He was 1 for 8 to start the year as far as the runner scoring, which is so unlike Pujols. But still with 8 home runs, he's driven in 29. First and third with 1 out.
And let's get rid of that stat where he hasn't driven in a run for 11 games. Let's end it right here.
So no RBIs in the last 11 straight. They're very deep in straightaway here for Pujols.
We're not used to seeing him going 11 games without a home run, let alone an RBI.
Seen a lot of pop-ups from Pujols this year.
A little bit out in front, dropping your hands a little bit. And I said that also is part of the factor of the ball and the movement.
Outside, 2-1. Holiday on deck.
Albert understands the questions about where the offense has gone, but he's quick to point out that every player, great ones too, go through slumps. Everyone goes through something like this at some point.
He set the bar so high, though. Nobody thinks of that in terms of him.
2-1. Good rip. Foul back. 2-2.
But there's, an 87-mile-an-hour fastball that he doesn't center, and that's just an odd thing. Fastball up, out over the plate, and he normally crushes that ball, and here he just fouls it off.
He's setting him up. Here comes a 2-2. Pujols hits a rocket down the left field line, and a foul ball.
I don't think he hit that hard enough.
Wow. We saw him line out to deep center last night, and that one was just foul. Two balls and 2 strikes. Time called. And out to visit his catcher.
They say his best pitch is a changeup. And they say that his changeup, really, he can fade it away from the right-handed batter. Sometimes a right-handed batter will try and roll over, try to pull that ball, roll over on it. You get that 6-4-3 double play the Padres are looking for.
A 2-2. Pitch at 84. Now the count is full.
That's his slider.
Albert Pujols has seen 6 pitches in this at bat, and 1 has been in the strike zone.
You don't see a guy that's supposed to be a control type pitcher pitch that high in the zone. But in this ballpark, you can get away with it.
And if you're Pujols, I mean, that's life for Pujols in the big leagues. He might see 1 pitch that's in the zone. Here's a ground ball. Hit to short. Out at second. And safe at first. Safe at first. And it's 1-0 Cardinals.
Wow. I think the Cardinals caught a break there. I'm surprised there's not an argument, but he rolled over on that changeup and looking for the 6-4-3. Look at he's off balance. A little bit in the hole. Eckstein doesn't have the strongest arm. And he's out. Very
close play at first, and
Maybe not. Maybe not there. Close. Well, those umpires don't have the benefit of seeing 3 replays. One out, one says safe, and one says we aren't sure.
So a runner at first, and now Holiday with 2 outs, 1-0 Cardinals. And Pujols with 30 driven in. Holiday walked his first time up. No argument from Bud Black, and it's a 1-0 lead.
Sometimes it just you do it for your bench. You do it for your team. That you go out and you just look like you're fighting by trying to fight a call. You know they're not going to change it, but.
Just the appearance of it.
Yeah, the appearance of it sometimes, just shows your team that you're in the same fight with it.
But don't players kind of know when a manager's doing that? A bang-bang play like that, you make a big deal. Don't players kind of sniff that out?
Yes and no. And there, the good quick move almost got Albert, but he got back. Sometimes you do it, get thrown out of a game just to show that. Got a little fight. He's already picked off 5 runners leading the major leagues and nearly got a 6th.
Here's a 2-0. Holiday, historically in his career, his best months are upcoming. June and July. And historically, the first 2 have been his worst. A 2-1 pitch. 3-1.
He's had a bunch of opportunities in this series so far.
We've seen nothing but fastballs here in this at bat.
Matt is as strong as anybody in the game. Change up.
Three and 2. Again last night with the bases loaded, it was a 3-2 changeup that got him.
I mean, there's no way on that pitch last night. It was just you can't look 3-2 changeup. And he threw a dandy one, swung at. That one was up over the middle of the plate, but the change of speed, the arm angle was great.
Al, do you see that there's been more to get off what is a very good San Diego pitching staff, best ERA in the National League, but the Cardinals could have gotten more. There was more to get against these guys.
Yeah, definitely. They've had their opportunities, but we've seen a lot of off-balance swings, chasing, expanding the strike zone.
Don't miss the Eagles, and that'll be at Busch Stadium Thursday, June 24th. Field seats available for $99. 4 packs for $255 and 6 packs for $198. All fees included in the ticket price.
Don't you always talk about your buddy on the Eagles, or in the Eagles, I should say, but you don't talk about those Dixie Chicks?
No, Dan likes to talk about them.
Dan?
Well, the special guest, the opening act will be the Dixie Chicks on that very special night.
Do you know them?
No, I don't know them.
Well, Al knows a couple of the guys that are
Walsh,
in the band.
Glenn Fry.
Here's David Freese. Let's focus, fellas, focus. 2 outs and 2 on.
Jim
And
Hayes
Freese hits out of play.
Jim Hayes is a very clever and funny man.
Jim
See Jose Oquendo down there in the third base box, and just like he was the other night with Wainwright, he's pleading with Pujols to get a little bigger lead.
That's a rarity to ever get Pujols to get a bigger lead. But he's saying, I'm having a good conversation with Eckstein.
That's hit out to left. And the catch made. The Cardinals will strand two. When they pick up the first run, it's 1-0. Padres team name refers to the Friars who founded San Diego 1769. And you knew that, Al. I know you did.
Absolutely.
Jim?
I did not know that.
You know about the missions up and down the California coast. They're all, I'm trying to think if they're approximately 30 miles apart. It was, I guess, a full day's ride, and you had a place to lodge.
First home run for the Padres is they played their first year baseball in 1969 was Ed Spezio,
former Cardinal.
And there's the changeup and a swing and a miss, and Venable had the bat get away, and it hit our home plate umpire.
Got him on the right hand. It's the crew chief, Dale Scott. Excuse me.
We had a lot of unhappy hitters last night with Dan Isonia, who was the home plate umpire.
Right around the elbow. Ooh. Got the barrel of the bat right in.
That's rough.
Padres also have never tossed a no-hitter. One of four teams have never done that. And they've never had a cycle either.
Yeah, they had a game. Clay Kirby, early in their career, he had a no-hitter through, I want to say, 8 innings. And Preston Gomez, he was trailing 1-0 with a no-hitter. And Preston Gomez, their first major, pinch hit for him. And everyone was up in arms. But, Preston said, hey, I'm trying to win the game. And it's more important. But that was probably one of their very few chances to take Padre to have a no-hitter that late.
Here's David Eckstein, and he'll look at a strike on the inside corner. Eckstein is fly to right. He's 0 for 1. David was always very cordial with the media and one of the better guys to deal with. And, Jim, you've had a lot of fun with David over the years.
He loves to talk about television.
Eckstein in the air. The left center. Ludwig there to make the catch. This week, a lot of positive emails came to us about the Pujols Family Foundation, the feature we showed on Saturday. So tomorrow in Toyota Cardinals Live, a repeat airing of that interview and feature. And that's at 12:30 with Albert Pujols.
David Eckstein always was just a pleasure to deal with. It was good to catch up with him here.
And that pitch is taken for a strike by Adrian Gonzalez. You look at his home run totals, and he's got the 9 home runs and plays in this ballpark. You wonder what the totals might be if he played somewhere else. We may find out before the season is through. A lot of talk that Boston would want to get involved in any kind of trade talks with Gonzalez. He's a terrific player, both at the plate and defensively. 2-time Gold Glover. Gets it to the opposite way. And Holiday makes the catch. Stavanoa leads it off when we come back. Head to toe in Cardinals gear, beginning with a Cardinals cap provided courtesy of U.S. Cellular. Available to 25,000 fans ages 16 and older. Saturday, June 5th. Get yours by purchasing tickets at Cardinals.com. Leadoff hit for Nick Stavanoa underway here in the 4th.
Stavanoa was in a little bit of rut. He was 0 for 10 for this hit.
Southwest Airlines Fox Tracks.
This guy really pitches up in the zone and away most of the time. But you can get away with that in this big ballpark.
And there's a pitch at the knees. A strike to Jason LaRue, the backup catcher. On deck, Schumacher, and if anybody can reach, then PJ. Either one of these pitchers throws very hard. Both topping out around 87, 88. There's the changeup at 76. LaRue popped out to first time up.
Ideally, in like 11 miles an hour variation between that fastball and changeup makes it ideal when LeBlanc can do that.
But if you throw under 90 miles an hour, you better be pretty precise with your fastball and spot it.
You better have that command to keep it out of the middle of the plate, work on both sides of the plate.
This is only LaRue's 6th start of the year.
He's last couple starts, he's gotten some base hits.
3rd year as the backup for the Cardinals. In the hole here, 1-2. Slowly hit to Gonzalez. And they turn 2. No, the ball gets away, but backing up the catcher there.
And next time.
That's Vincent Jackson there on the right, the Chargers wide receiver. And a Hall of Famer to his right on your left. That's James Lofton. Great player he was.
And that last play really shows you why ideally you want a left-handed throwing first baseman. As Gonzalez, that was a real easy play for him to get that ball, and then his momentum towards second base, it's got a real easy throw. Awkward throw for the right-handed throwing first baseman. And as you see here for a lefty, he fields it and just can make a real easy toss for the right-handers throwing across his body.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Skip. It's a foul out of play. Schumacher with a pair of doubles last night. Really a key defensive mistake made by their young center fielder. What should have been a single. Didn't keep it in front, and with 2 outs, he wound up in the 9th. That's Durango, the center fielder, that made that play. And Skip wound up at second. Ludwig would drive him in. And I'm sure many of our folks back in the Midwest didn't see it. It was late last night.
Oh, I know. They were all watching, Dan. They'll stay up all night to watch Cardinal baseball. And the base hit that Ludwig had probably would not have scored Skip if Durango played that into a single. Got 2 active players in this game who have registered 6-hit games. Skip being one and Adrian Gonzalez the other.
1-2 the count on Schumacher. Soon enough, Brad Penny will be back, and as we've talked about, Loesch is going to miss considerable time. It's sharply to Gonzalez from his knees. Out at second, out at first. Accurate throw from his knees. The 2-time Gold Glover, Adrian Gonzalez. The Cardinals and the Cubs. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Budweiser, returns this week at 3. Pujols with the RBI, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. Cardinals are 11-4 this year when Albert drives in a run, 14-17 when he doesn't.
Just sounds good saying Albert drove in a run.
Mm-hmm.
Jay holding his own. He had trouble in the second inning. Padres had the bases loaded and 2 hits, two really crummy little hits. A little dunker out in right and an infield swinging bunt base hit. Then he walked Tony Gwynn and retired the pitcher on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs and the bases loaded.
1 ball, 1 strike. Chase Headley here. He struck out first time. He struck out 2 and walked 1. This is hit into right center. And that'll drop in front of Ludwig for a base hit. Now, we've talked so much about Gonzalez and teams having an interest in him and also Heath Bell. You're past now the quarterway point of the season. You know what you've got here in San Diego, which is really good pitching. They need some offense. Instead of being sellers, they all of a sudden may completely do a reversal and say, hey, let's go out and get ourselves a hitter.
Well, that was the team try to, they knew the possibility. They've been talking about it for a couple of years that Heath Bell and Gonzalez may be traded at this year's deadline. So it's kind of like their goal was to be good enough, competitive enough to where they become buyers rather than sellers.
Well, they've done that right now. Their record is 28-18, which is the best in the National League.
Right. Best in the National League, got a two-game lead in the West.
Gonzalez, his numbers will be there at the end of the year. But the rest of this lineup, there's not those household names that you look at.
No, when you really look at this series, you see the big names of the Cardinals and the no names of the Padres. Excellent pitching for both teams. A little better for the Padres than the Redbirds, but the Cardinal big names had not come through offensively.
1 ball, 1 strike. Nick Hundley grounded out to short first time. Reds have jumped out to a 4-0 lead. That's in the second inning over Pittsburgh. They lead the Cardinals by a game in the division. Again, another situation, and PJ did this last year. Runners would get on. Completely different pitcher where you pick a little bit, not nearly as aggressive.
Well, everybody slows down a little bit when you get runners on. But you still have to have that intensity. You have to go out there and present that positive image that you're attacking the hit strike zone.
We've said it before. If you just joined us, of course, the story of PJ and his family with the loss of their daughter. Everybody's pulling for him to get off to a good start here and see if he can't stick around. 3-1. And as any baseball man will tell you, it's rare when you see a starting rotation or a team not have an injury or two that impacts your club over the course of 6 months, and those injuries do create opportunities.
Most definitely. There's been some great careers that were started by an injury.
The 3-1 pitch. You go back to thinking about a bullpen that Whitey Herzog had, and bullpen by committee, and then it turned into Todd Worrell, and all of a sudden he emerged. There's so many stories like that. Vince Coleman came up, impressed. Runner goes, and it's hit in the air out to left. Holiday near the line, makes the catch. Hundley retired. He's 0 for 2. Headley back to first.
Probably the best story that created a legend was Lou Gehrig. Wally Pipp.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a headache today. Let the kid play. Lou Gehrig.
It's great when you talk to the older baseball man like a Red Shandies, and he'll tell you, we never went on the DL or took time off because guys were as good as you, if not better, in the minor leagues.
Well, before my time, when you'd have 30, 40 minor league teams. And one time they had like 3 AAA teams, but you had B, C, and D baseball before you got to A, AA, and AAA. How many outstanding players never got a chance because of a guy named Stan Musial?
Right. These are guys that have hurt the Cardinals this year. Napoli had 3 home runs over the weekend. Hairston has done it in this series. Lance Berkman, couple of home runs and 9 at-bats. And then Jason Worth. Guys that have been thorns in the side of the Cardinals. It is neat, though, when you get to the ballpark at Busch Stadium, and I'm not sure enough fans have been there early enough, but Tony La Russa makes a point, and Red Shandies makes a point to come together and visit. And they'll talk about the previous game and what's happening, and Tony says he still bounces a lot of ideas off of Red.
Red's still very sharp.
Oh, no, most definitely.
And I mean, nothing escapes him in this game. And teams on the road, he's always watching, picking up things. Good sounding board for Tony.
Strikeout for P.J. Walters. That's his 3rd of the afternoon, 2 away.
Andrews. P.J. came up here last year and he almost threw that first season out for a young kid. Throws fastball by him up in the zone. I think that would show that was up out of the strike zone. If you can get hitters to chase a ball up out of the strike zone, that's a pitcher's pitch. A ball at the top of the strike zone is a hitter's pitch.
That's hit hard, but a diving play and underhanded by Schumacher to Ryan for the force. What a play by Skip Schumacher. In 1968, Major League Baseball announces its expansion into Montreal and San Diego. That's presented by Schnucks. On a hop to second. Eckstein makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Think about that, Dan. They announced that, in 68?
And in 69, they're playing.
And then they're playing, where the last round with Arizona and Tampa Bay, they were given about 3 to 4 years to develop their farm system before they started playing at the major league level.
Preston Gomez, their first manager.
Preston was a coach for Red at one point in St. Louis. Just a great baseball man and a refined gentleman.
Didn't win many games. He went 180 and 316.
Well, like we said, that you had an expansion draft. You start playing, and you're really handicapped. You have really no farm system. Remember, they didn't have a AAA team. They had a AA and I think an A-ball team. And the first couple of years of their existence, they pretty much started from scratch. They had a major league draft, and then you just began your farm system. So they didn't have anything, down below to feed off of.
Think about how Arizona, when they got rolling with Buck Showalter, and they wound up having a few years to develop players, and they had money to spend, and they went out and spent it for that championship, no doubt. Here's a 1-2 to Brendan Ryan. Brendan in the top spot, and he's 2 for 2.
They were the quickest, right, expansion team to reach postseason play.
Florida went out, got players, and then sold them off. That was the first time. But you have to give them credit how they've scouted other franchises and picked up players as they have those valuable chips to trade. John Mozeliak did that in getting David Freese.
Yeah, the Marlins had 2 fire sales after their World Series.
Brendan Ryan out to deep left. It's at the track. It's at the wall. Goodbye. He's 3 for 3 and his first home run. Brendan Ryan. In front of family and friends here today, Brendan Ryan hits the home run, and it's our Southwest Airlines look here where the pitch is. It's up, and it's out of here.
It's only the third home run allowed by this left-hander. The other 2 came in his start in Seattle. A pitch up there, but he was allowed Brendan to pull the ball.
I talked to Brendan about the other day his spring training, and he said even though he did not have a lot of time, he said that first week of the regular season his swing for whatever reason was lost, but he noticed in spring he was hitting the ball a lot harder than he had been in years past. And he thought going into the regular season he'd be fine, but now with that pressure off, he's starting to play a little bit better and hit and swing the bat much better. And he's 3 for 3 today.
Well, we knew that he was just trying so hard that it was counterproductive. And time off, you get a little aggressive, you get a little hungry. He's a good teammate to where he was ready. Wasn't, he was being supportive of Lopez, but wanting to play, but understood the circumstance. And now a much more relaxed Brendan Ryan is coming out and showing his offensive skills.
Brendan in this ballpark a year ago had a grand slam. He did that on his brother's birthday. This has hit a ton down the left field line. My goodness.
And she retrieved it.
1-2.
First souvenir for her young son. You want the ball up and away, right up there.
This is on his brother's birthday last year. Mom, dad, girlfriend in the stands, and his first career grand slam.
Don't you think it was the mustache?
May have been.
Got to bring back that mustache.
Well, right now he's 3 for 3. Things are rolling.
Kind of looks like it's
maybe it is
shadow there.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Albert Pujols. Time called. Pujols today with an RBI, his 30th, and he's also popped out in the dirt. Full count. September 19th of last season was the last 3-hit game that he had. He also had a home run that day. It's against the Cubs. There goes one. Look at this. Out to left, and oh goodness, off the facade of the second deck. Pujols with number 9. And that's RBI number 31. That got out in a hurry.
That's what we're accustomed to seeing and what all these Cardinal fans have been waiting for. Got an RBI, the first of this game, on a fielder's choice, but here's what we're used to seeing. And this is what you cannot do if you don't throw hard. You cannot throw a ball in the middle of the plate, especially to Pujols. I think Brendan is growing a mustache. That's where his power has come back. Albert's growing the facial hair again. Power's back.
So he's got 2 RBIs. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Holiday. Change up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Holiday with a pair of walks.
They look like his stance is a little more closed.
Let's take a look here. I haven't really noticed, Al. But,
an open stance, you'll see more of the chest. A closed stance, you'll see more of the back of the number.
maybe a little bit. And if you're closed up too much, that would make you susceptible to the fastball in. Tough to open up.
Sure.
2-2 the count. Sharply hit and a base hit out to left center. Holiday is thinking too. Throwing to second. He is out at second base. Pair of home runs here in the 5th inning. First of the year for Brendan Ryan. His 8th RBI, a solo shot. And this one got out in a hurry from Albert Pujols. It's 3-0. Lead it off for the Padres. First pitch, slicing down the left field line. Holiday over. Sliding and making the catch. Matt Holiday with the play out left. That's a pick-me-up.
Standing after the Northfield, the left fielder really did a great job to get that ball back into the infield where Holiday was thrown out. So here he does not take his defense out to the field or his offense. It's a nice play. Hold on to that ball. That ball was with wind speed. Could get a triple.
Here's Wade LeBlanc, and you're talking about that play at second base. We've seen a couple of those replays, and it's tough to tell as LeBlanc hits it into center. Ludwig makes the catch. He was sinking on him. 2 outs. So this is the play that ended the top of the 5th as Holiday was trying to extend this into a double. Sliding play there to get into a throwing position, and then a strike, and Eckstein the tag. Plaza Tire Service replay. Is the hand in there?
It's hard to tell, isn't it? It looks like it is, but boy, it's bang, bang. But DeNorfia, as you saw, great slide, got to that ball quickly, back in. Holiday hustling all the way, just very good defensive execution.
This is Will Venable. He was their minor league player of the year all the way back in 2006. He's flied to left and struck out. Breaks his bat and a base hit. Cardinals have really made some fine defensive plays in this ballgame. Think about that play by Matt Holliday off the bat of Gwynn, and then Schumacher's played in the 4th. Who is the Padres' all-time leader in home runs? It's our AT&T trivia question. Nate Colbert, 163.
St. Louis. Nate Colbert.
Well, he attended Stan the Man's 5-home-run doubleheader at Sportsman's Park.
Nate did?
Yes, he did.
I believe he's a minister now. He was a big man and from St. Louis.
Nate back in 1972 also matched that feat. He had 5 home runs and 13 RBIs in a doubleheader. Here's Eckstein with a runner at first, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That show that Adrian Gonzalez ranks 4th in the club's all-time list. PJ's handling this role pretty fine today. This is not the murderer's row, but trying to stop a 2-game losing streak. His offense is helping him out, but he's holding his own.
1-2 to David Eckstein. Instead, a check on runner at first, Will Venable. He's only given up 4 base hits. He struck out 3 and walked 1.
And really, 3 of the 4 hits have been kind of not hard hit balls, just well placed.
Sun is now behind the clouds, and it's gotten cloudy very quickly here at Petco Park in San Diego.
They've had a lot of rain for California. They really need it also, but I think there was possibly a little rain in this forecast.
Venable is leaning, gets a good jump and a ground ball to third. Freeze, no play. It'll be an error on David Freeze. So David commits the error, and that extends the inning. And David Freeze commits his 6th error on the year.
Trying to get his feet in a position to where he could get the short hop and make the throw, and ball just didn't stay in the glove.
So the one guy you could ill afford to bring up with 2 runners on. Extends the inning to Adrian Gonzalez, and 1 swing of the bat, he could tie it up.
And the Cardinals have been very lucky in this series. They have held this very good hitter 1 for 11.
Gonzalez has grounded to Pujols and also flied out to left.
He was named player of the week for last week when he hit .444, 12 for 27, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs.
Schumacher is about 10 yards deep out at second. The grass in right field. Brendan Ryan is on the grass in the outfield.
Albert's trying to get to the grass.
It's close.
And it's one foot on the grass, one on the dirt at first.
1-1. 2 balls and a strike.
And then they pitch him away.
First pitch strikes. You see what he's done today.
That ball away from him now, 3-1 count. So you put him in probably a hitter's most desirable count. Want to be up there on a 3-1.
And he walked him. So second time that PJ will have to deal with the bases loaded. Fireworks night back at Busch Stadium June 4th. And kick off the start of your summer by bringing the entire family down to watch the Cardinals take on the Brewers. And if you'd like tickets, good seats still available at Cardinals.com. It's Friday, June 4th.
Okay, promotions coming up for this. Well, that's next weekend. Our first game is Memorial Day. Any hot price nights? Anything in there?
Well, we've got on Memorial Day good seats available. That's a 3 o'clock start too. Here's Chase Headley. Bases loaded.
By the way, I heard that Brendan Ryan commercial for Memorial Day. Very, very nice.
Yeah, he did a great job at thanking the veterans. Want to know the count. Ooh. Be careful with that pitch there.
Kind of hanging breaking ball that just kind of floated up there. Stayed up in the zone, but can keep him from swinging. Struggles with this scenario. Bases loaded.
Well, he does lead the Padres. He has 52 hits this year. Chase Headley is a switch hitter. Today he has a base hit. He's also struck out. And walk to Gonzalez, just the second for Walters today.
And both walks loaded the bases. Got away with it with the pitcher up. And do it with the cleanup hitter.
1-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Strikeout of Headley. Padres have stranded 7. We played 5, and it's American Lager. We're at Wrigley Field for the first time tomorrow. And Chris Carpenter, who's 5-1, will go against Randy Wells. The Cardinals will face Wells, and then 6-0 Carlos Silva, 6-0, and Ryan Dempster, who is 3-4. That'll be on Sunday.
That'd be Wainwright and Dempster, right?
There's a base hit out to left for Freeze. Yeah, Wainwright, Dempster, and Cardinals. Ottavino, as we mentioned, is here, but he's not been activated yet for that start on Saturday.
That'll be the Saturday Fox game. And here the ball up, and that's going to get hit hard.
Now we've seen the Cardinals very aggressive here early in counts. More aggressive now than they had been.
And their pitching coach, Darren Balsley, will have to talk to LeBlanc, give the bullpen some time to get active. Joe Thatcher, their lone left-hander.
June 6th, you can pick up a pet bowl for your furry friend. Compliments of Nestle Purina. Available to 25,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. Get yours by purchasing tickets at Cardinals.com.
There you go. There's one of our promotions. There's Thatcher.
I hope that parents do take advantage this summer of those kids tickets. Those are only $7 all season long. Kids tickets, $7. School just about out.
.95 pitches. More than likely his last inning of work. Stavinoa got a base hit last time up. See a couple. And you got Brendan Ryan showing Holiday how to hit home runs.
The pitch in the dirt. Well, the Cardinals have 6 games upcoming after today. Key games in the Central. You got 3 with Chicago, and then come home Memorial Day, 3 o'clock start. The Reds will be in town, and the Reds lead Pittsburgh 7-0. That's in the 3rd inning of that ball game. 1-0 pitch to Stavinoa. Into right. 1 away. So twice, P.J. Walters is pitched out of a jam with the bases loaded.
It's good to see. You gain your confidence. Also, Tony, Dave Duncan feel a little more comfortable when the guy gets into a jam. Feel like he has the ability to get out of it. A lot of young pitchers go along, sailing along, and then they get in the jam. They're always looking over their shoulder for help. At times you have to fight through it.
Now it's LaRue. 0 for 2 today. Ground out, fly out. Milwaukee, bases loaded walk in the 9th, beat Houston 4-3. Cubs winning at home 1-0 over the Dodgers.
Cincinnati's going to have a big 7-0 lead, but it's early, only in the 4th inning against Pittsburgh at home.
San Francisco over Washington 5-4. Colorado won again. They beat Arizona 8-2. Ubaldo Jimenez lowered his ERA. His last start to under 1 this year. He's got 9 wins already. 1-0 pitch to LaRue. Tapped foul. San Diego, if they could come back and win this game, they'd lead the division by 3 games over the Dodgers. Cardinals start a game back of Cincinnati. And the Phillies lead Atlanta by 2.5. And Florida, Washington, New York, all 3 games out in the East. 2 balls and a strike. You know, we mentioned on Saturday it's still undecided what the Cardinals may do. And you could go with Ottavino or a bullpen start for Tony La Russa, but I don't think you'd really want to disrupt what you have going out right now out there in that bullpen, the way that they pitched, and that ERA of 2.89.
And there's Hawksworth warming up.
LaRue with a fly ball near the Cardinal bullpen. And a sliding catch. Oh, what a play by Will Venable. Tremendous catch.
Outstanding play, contending with the bullpen area, the stands that you get a slide to kind of protect yourself. Checks sees where he doesn't go up the hill, but right along that wall, you slide so you can stop and don't run yourself straight into the wall, and he holds on to it.
It's a great play.
Concentration.
Seen some defense here today. 2 outs here, Skip. Looks like that's going to be it for PJ. As on deck, it looks to be a pinch hitter. So wild pitch and advancing Freeze to second. Let's take a look here. Plaza Tire Service replay.
Just try to stab. We were talking yesterday with Dave Garcia talking about the catcher's glove today, or oversized first baseman's glove. And they all like to use one hand and stab at it. Now they get, it's PJ standing at the on deck, sir. There's Dave Garcia, 90 years of age, or he will be this September. Grew up in East St. Louis, and I played. He picked up one year. I was in the Mexican League, and he picked me up to go to the Caribbean World Series. But Dave Duncan played for him. Been around a long time in baseball.
There's a strike to Skip. 2 balls, 1 strike. Schumacher grounded into the 3-6-3 double play, and also struck out in the second. On that double play, it was started by Gonzalez holding the runner at first, and he made the play and the throw from his knee. And a very, very strong throw and perfect lead at second base.
Another play, because he's left-handed, he's able to do that, make that throw. Little key at bat right here. If, with Hawksworth throwing, you get the feeling that if Schumacher can extend the inning, they will pinch hit for P.J. Walters. He is staying at the on-deck circle. Whether his day is through, we'll see.
2-2. Hit out of play.
Jay through 5 innings has only allowed 4 hits. And as I said, 3 of those have been kind of scratch hits. He's walked a pair. He's pitched out of 2 bases loaded jams, and he still has the shutout intact.
Big lead out at second base for David Freeze. Outfield fairly deep, too. And that time a much better play to block it and keep it in front.
Well, see, you can get a huge jump. When you're out there at second base, there's 2 outs, 2 strikes on the batter. That's why it was a little surprising that John Jay did not score last night. It's the same scenario. If you're the runner at second base, you look in, and you can almost be a judge if the guy starts his swing, or if you think it's in the strike zone, take off.
That is a fair ball just over the bag and down into the corner. Venable will have to dig it out. Schumacher takes a peek, and now he's on his way over to third with a triple. A 2-out triple by Skip. Schumacher picks up the RBI, and that makes it a 4-0 Cardinals lead. And it looks like that's going to be it for PJ, and they'll pull him back, and Joe Mather will be the hitter.
Saying here's a hanging breaking ball. Just hit it right down here in the corner. They scramble the bullpen, try to clear a path. Once Molina gets down on a knee, he's not sure where that flow's coming. PJ does a heck of a job, and you get him out of this game, and it's just a pure positive. And
Equipment, powerful, lightweight, dependable, versatile yard care solutions. Start at steeldealers.com. By Lumiere Casino, enjoy more than just the game. Check out Lumiere Casino and Hotels baseball ticket packages at lumiereplace.com. By AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. So Thatcher into the ball game, a 2.57 ERA. Mathers showing bunt and takes a strike. Not sure what he's doing there.
Well, got a runner out there.
Drive him
two
in.
outs. The infield are playing back, but Thatcher, you see his numbers. He's been scored upon only once in his 11 outings.
Only 7 innings, and the batter's only hitting 136 against him. That's pulled foul.
Well, 5 times in his outings, it's only been one batter. Right-handed batters are batting 167 against him. Lefties 1 for 10. 100. Was on the disabled list for a while with a strained left shoulder.
It's the 10th RBI for Schumacher, the 0-2. Just missed outside. Mather, the pinch hitter here for the starter, P.J. Walters, and Mather on the year hitting just 196. He's 3 for 11 as a pinch hitter. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out and on the hands and a strikeout. Inning comes to a close and we head to the bottom of the 6th. Fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals, and you'll find great seats and great service on StubHub all season long. StubHub.com and choose your seats today. So Blake Hawksworth takes over for P.J. Walters, who goes 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs, walked 2, and struck out 4. And this is our Chevy called to the pen, and it's been a while since we've seen Hawksworth.
19th.
Yeah, that was against Florida. He took the loss that night. 2 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. All were earned that game, and also walked 1. Those are his numbers this year.
And he's been dealing with a groin strain. So that's why he hasn't pitched for 8 days and why he had such a rough outing. First time he gave up 2 home runs in his career, same game, but hopefully he's well. He's been battling that twice this season.
This is Mather now in center. He won't catch up with it. Ludwig had shifted to right, and it's a base hit into right center. So a leadoff hit for Nick Hundley, who had grounded a short, fly to left, and now a single. He's 1 for 3. Or rather, excuse me, a double. The pitch that was up to right center.
See that pitch right dead in the middle, but he's been off for 8 days. You got to worry about trying to throw strikes. So work quality pitches into the repertoire, but right now it's just trying to get him healthy, and unfortunately, right away he's under the gun.
93 pitches today for P.J. Walters, pitched out of a couple of jams, and if the bullpen can make it stick,
very well,
he'll have himself a win. Jerry Hairston, he's 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Showing bunt, looks at a strike.
Well, you know, Dan, the Cardinals have a little bit of a break with Carpenter pitching tomorrow. 13 innings last night, and again, Hawksworth, the only one not used, and I really would like him to go deep into this game.
And a swing and a miss by Hairston.
You would think the Cardinals probably sent Carpenter ahead.
I didn't see him down there, Al. I'm assuming that he did go ahead.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Maybe get a workout and then try to get this, you know, an afternoon flight to Chicago as the ball club will get in. You know, probably the hotel 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning for a 1:20 start.
And an 0-2 pitch from Blake Hawksworth to Hairston. Wanted it elevated, got it there, and fouled back. Hairston was a blue pitch single and then the strikeout in the 4th. And this year hitting .231 with runners in scoring position. Final line on LeBlanc, 5 2/3. Gave up 9 hits, 4 runs, all those earned. Couple of home runs he allowed. Also walked 2. He struck out 2.
Harrison last night hit the second walk-off home run of his career. Back-to-back games, he got the game-winning home run off the Cardinal pitching staff.
We talked about how Hawksworth has been dealing with that groin injury. They did not put him on the disabled list, and it has been over a week since he has pitched. You have to figure, Al, and you would know this very well, it would be tough to keep your control, you know, to stay sharp when you don't pitch.
It's impossible. You can throw in the bullpen, but it's not with the same adrenaline flow. You get out there, you get excited, you're trying to preserve a shutout, and all of a sudden you get a leadoff double, and you cannot simulate that throwing on the side.
Hawksworth from Vancouver, British Columbia. Former draft pick in 2001 for the Redbirds. Expectations were so high for him, and he dealt with injuries in his career and finally got a chance to work out of the bullpen for the Cardinals last year. He went 4-0 with an ERA that was just over 2.03.
His major league debut was not one to write home, but as the season went along, he was outstanding. It's 4-0, that ERA just over 2, and he did not give up a run to the Central Division opponents. When you have a groin injury, you know, we always talk about how you try to pitch down in the zone. But when you get that groin injury, you really feel like you're pitching uphill. You don't have your legs underneath you. You can't have the same stride. He had it coming out of spring training, and then it reoccurred recently. But when he gets the ball down, you know, he really is overpowering stuff with a nasty sinker, very good changeup.
2-2 hit out of play by Jerry Hairston Jr.
97. You see this, you know, we've never seen him throw that hard. We've seen 94. And he's throwing some 96, 97 as he's amped up. He's got, you know, plenty of rest, but sometimes, and David Duncan is very good at telling a guy to back off, save some of that, particularly the starters. You know, for, you know, a guy that's going to go out there for one inning, you can blow. But I think their role they have him from this game, they like to get multiple innings.
2-2. And a strikeout of Hairston. So the first out here in the bottom of the 6th, a strikeout of Hairston brings in Chris DeNorfia. And our U.S. Cellular text poll, the colors that you prefer. If you had to make that choice, the Padres C choice.
The pajamas.
And DeNorfia will be the hitter. That's presented by U.S. Cellular.
He's not a fan of pinstripes. You?
The Yankees, I mean, that's pretty traditional.
Well, I mean, they're the exception, but
generally no.
And I think Padres had that yellow they have on this brown and yellow. Seemed like they had an all yellow version of it.
They did.
That was quite ugly.
1-0 pitch. And a ground ball. Freeze, backs up, spins, and makes the play. So 2 outs. Following the leadoff double, 2 outs. Did he snow cone this?
It looked like it. Looks like it's right out on the web. Nope, not at all.
Tony Gwynn Jr., the hitter.
Look at some ugly uniforms, and then, of course, when the Pirates had their canary yellow uniforms, Dave Parker and Stargell, they were outstanding in those things.
And the hats. The hats were different too.
We have a baseball card that you find me wearing a batting helmet, because that was in 1976 with the bicentennial hats.
Right.
Where the Pirates had a version where they wore it all the year long, or wore it all the time, where the Cardinals had a bicentennial hat that looked that old school, and I refused to wear it unless I was pitching.
And so that's why it's on your card.
I was wearing a batting helmet because it was taken, it was taken. They would do stage poses back then. Remember, now they got the beautiful action shots.
Tony Gwynn Jr. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Gwynn today was robbed of a hit by Holiday in the 5th, and he also walked. Now, he is the godfather of Prince Fielder's son.
Well, he was the number 2 second round draft pick of Milwaukee back in the 03 draft, so they probably came up together and close friends. And was traded here for Jody Garrett.
Got to figure there's a lot to talk about between the two, with dads that played in the league and
sure
experiences that they've gone through following their father. He was acquired from Milwaukee 2009 on May 21st for Jody Garrett, and he played in 119 games for the Padres. He had 87 starts in center.
A little different relationship with their fathers.
Yes, very much so. 2-2 the count. Little bit low. That pitch at 96, so you can see Hawksworth well rested and throwing hard today. The story of this ball game: Pujols has broken his RBI drought. He has a home run. Brendan Ryan has gone deep, and P.J. Walters gives the Cardinals 5 scoreless innings in his start. The 3-2 pitch. Gwynn shoots it out to left. Holiday there to make the catch, and we got 6 innings in the books here at Petco Park. Top of the lineup coming up. Run this inning. Lindo Roma qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. And you can register at St. Charles Hyundai or St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. Durango, the speedster, takes over in center for Tony Gwynn Jr. And a new pitcher is Adam Russell, a right-hander out of Westlake, Ohio. Now, he came over in the Jake Peavy deal from the Chicago White Sox. And he's appeared in 5 games so far. And Richard takes over here, third pitcher, or rather Russell, third pitcher used. Unscored upon in 7 2/3 innings.
Yeah, and they have 6 pitchers that are on scoreless streaks. Russell with his 7 2/3. Right-handed batters are hitting 154 against him. Lefties 091. Big guy, 6'8", 255. He did make 15 appearances last season with the Padres. And he was recalled this year from AAA on the 20th of this month. For Portland, he was 0-2 with save, 7.71 ERA in 12 outings.
Two balls and a strike on Ryan. He's had a big day. Getting the start, singled, stole a base, his second of the year in the first. Singled and scored in the third, and a solo home run in the fifth. 2-2 the count.
Ryan's father was an infielder for Iola Marymount. Yeah.
Brandon Ryan 4 for 4 today.
And his uncle Willie played first base for Southern Cal, so he's showing them how to hit. 4 for 4 game for Brendan Ryan, and boy, exactly what the doctor ordered.
So 4-hit day for Brendan Ryan, 3 singles and his solo home run to left.
Ball up and in, just inside out stroke, and plunked it into right.
Now you wonder, Al, if you're Tony La Russa, you've given him time off, and he certainly has responded. It's helped him. You know, at what point do you say, let's start edging closer to being that everyday player? And he'll look up next time, if he comes up, and see his average above 200. It's at 203 now.
And that's a monumental accomplishment. I think what you do now is you know, Felipe deserves playing time. He's been doing a great job. But so Brendan Ryan, you kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if you play him and then maybe you look and see if Freeze needs a day off. He's been playing an awful lot. He's 1 for 3 today, but David did get a 2/3 of an inning off last night. But he's been playing every day, the longest stretch for the Cardinals prior to last night's game. And Felipe is, you know, Felipe is 3 for 8 in this series, got an 6-game hitting streak. He's hit leadoff the last 9 games. He had 3 hits last night. 2 hits on Tuesday.
It was a very valid point, though, about Freeze. You know, when you first got and acquired Felipe Lopez, you're thinking maybe more as a backup for third and spot the guys at second and short. And his acquisition has been tremendous with the fact that Brendan Ryan was struggling, and it gave him that mental break that apparently he needed.
Yeah. Felipe's hit .326 with 3 home runs, 9 RBIs when batting in the leadoff spot. So, and you're right. When you acquired Felipe Lopez, you thought third base, second base.
Brendan is running, and the pitch is hit down the left field line.
And really, shortstop was kind of an afterthought. You know, probably the least position we thought we'd see because Brendan had such a sensational year last year. Played Gold Glove caliber defense, hit .292, but they got off to a horrendous start.
Al, I asked him the other day before game one of the series and talking about Brendan Ryan, and I asked him about the learning process. I said, what have you learned from this situation? He said a couple things. One, you can't give up. You got to keep going. And he said that's been hard and how to deal with it mentally. But he said the second thing I learned is how many of the opposing players know what's going on with me and are supportive. He said I've gotten text messages and phone calls, and I might get on base or a guy gets to second and I'm at short. And all these players encouraging him. There's a base hit for Ludwig into left center. Ryan is going to be held up, and it's a double for Ludwig.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Dan. And I remember when we saw him in Cincinnati before he got put on the shelf for a while, and got that good speed. He can go from first to third as well as anybody on the team. And Ludwig, multi-hit game, so that's good to see. But, I remember talking with some of the Cincinnati coaches, and they were just in pain for watching Brendan. Nobody likes to see somebody struggle so much.
First base open, and they're going to pitch to Pujols here. He said the one guy that really surprised him, he said Bobby Abreu. He said he may have been the most supportive guy of anybody that he heard from. Right fielder for the Angels. He said, hey, man, have some fun. He said, he looks like you're not having fun. Pujols in the hole here, 0-2. We've seen Albert hit a rocket for a home run off the facade of the second deck today. He's also picked up an RBI in the third. And watching his at-bats last night, especially the last one, hit the ball hard, and then today, maybe he's starting to really come out of it. More power. Pujols hits it out to deep center. That'll stay in the ballpark. Ryan will tag up. Ludwig will as well. Throw will come into third. Albert picks up the RBI to make it 5-0 St. Louis. So 3 RBI day for the Cardinals first baseman. So a 5-0 lead for the Redbirds. Let's take a look at our Cabot Woodstein legendary performance. Cardinals pay tribute to Hall of Fame hurler Dizzy Dean. They dedicate a statue outside of Busch Stadium back in 2000.
Score 5-0. They have the infield in. Ooh. Holiday looking for probably a fastball there, and got a slow curveball that just kind of sat right in the middle of the plate.
0-1 pitch to Holiday. I encourage fans, if you haven't seen those statues, Harry Weber did a tremendous job, the sculptor. Stan the Man, Enos Slaughter, Hornsby is out there. Red Shandy's, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, Cool Papa Bell, George Sisler.
Yeah, they are quite remarkable, and Harry Weber is such a gifted artist.
Ozzy's out there, Jack Buck.
Hey, Mr. Weber, I do have an original piece of your artwork. Something he donated to a golf tournament, and I was very happy to purchase that. It's a cute little rabbit.
Really?
It's the only thing I could afford.
Holiday, the runner, has scored 2 out of 8 times in this spot. He's ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike. Ground ball, base hit for Holiday, and he picks up the RBI.
Take that, stat. 3 for 9 now.
6-0. Holiday on base for the 4th time. Pair of walks and 2 singles.
His 19th RBI. As the Cardinals really handcuffed first 2 games, but playing in cost them a run. As he just hits a ground ball. Holiday, not that he hit that ball so hard, but he gets a lot of balls that he can drive through the infield because he does normally hit the ball very hard.
David Freese And Freeze has flied out to right, flied to left, and also singled in the 6th.
We want everyone to understand when we say maybe David Freeze needs a little break, there's nothing wrong with his ability or how he's played, but he's just been out there constantly, and just maybe make him a little sharper. Tony doesn't have the ability to, to spell some of his regulars as much as he normally does.
Two balls and a strike.
Mark was very supportive.
There's a base hit out to right field. Holliday to second, on his way to third. And that is 4 hits in the inning for the Cardinals. So good at going to right field, and a 2-hit day for the Cardinal third baseman.
Ball out away from him, but that's his natural stroke. As you see him hitting the ball in the opposite field, he stays on a pitch a lot longer. And a byproduct of this big outfield is you really can go first to third. And the Cardinals have been showing that today.
Well, if you're Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa, you have the 6-0 lead. Hawksworth hits for himself, and you start thinking about down the line, how long can we go with Blake Hawksworth?
Well, they want him to finish this game.
Absolutely.
And one, if you were talking about a bullpen start, he would be probably the ideal candidate. But obviously, you're not going to make a start on Saturday if you're going to try and get 4 innings out of him here on Thursday.
We're talking to the Padres folks about David Freeze. They said it's not like, this has surprised us all that much. When he was in our system, he was buried. And they knew he was a good player, and the Cardinals recipient of a very good player, David Freeze.
I remember Kuzminoff was like a first or second year player here at the big leagues. Headley, their current third baseman, was at Double-A, and David was at Single-A. And he got to the Cardinal. When he got to the Cardinal organization, they pushed him all the way to third Triple-A, and he responded with a really big year.
Good rip there by Hawksworth. I've seen him hit this year.
He appears to be a pretty good athlete.
He's 0 for 2 this year. Hit that long game against the Mets back at Busch Stadium.
Russell up there, 95, but can't get a ball by Hawksworth. Throwing a lot of breaking balls to the other hitters.
And that'll be a strikeout of Blake.
On a backup curveball.
If the Cardinals would hold on, for P.J. Walters, that'll be one fine ride to Chicago. His teammates are really pulling for him. Everybody in the organization is, with everything he's gone through.
You can imagine the emotions that'll be going through his head right now. Did his job, and he could be very proud of it. And really, when you think about it, I think that Penny would miss one more start, but then he should be back or very close to that.
And the initials of his daughter on the mound.
Nice young man, but very quiet, Kind of give him a little space.
2-1, the count on LaRue.
Jim Hayes did a nice interview with John Jay, and he really had some interesting things to say. The guy that he looks to is Stavanoa for support and help.
Up the middle, Hairston. Force play to Eckstein at second. Cardinals add 2 more. They have 13 hits today. 6-0 lead. On defense. And this is Matt Holliday's catch down the left field line. Off the bat of Tony Gwynn. We've seen some very good plays from the Cardinals today and by San Diego. Had the diving play by Schumacher in the 4th. Holliday's catch there in the 5th. Double play started by Gonzalez from his knees. The catch by the right fielder today for the Padres. Near the Cardinal bullpen, Will Venable. So good defense all around. And the Cardinals could be a game out when we head to Chicago. Here's Durango, and this kid, if you didn't see it last night, he can fly. Freeze in at third. First pitch, a strike.
Durango made the start last night, made that crucial mental mistake in the outfield. At AAA, he hit 300. He had 46 hits. 45 were singles. And I bet you there was a high percentage were infield hits or bunt base hits.
Played at 9 games last year with the Padres. He's from Panama. 1-2. And we saw last night, Mott came in against Durango and it was all fastballs.
Oh, just blew him away. And,
yeah.
You know, and another factor too is that, they're not afraid to let him hit the ball, in the air. They're hoping he hits the ball in the air because he has no power.
Here's a ground ball, base hit.
That's what he's trying to do. Is and look at Mather fielded that ball and thinking, because he's so shallow, thought about trying to throw to first.
It would have taken the greatest play in the history of center fielders for that to happen. So Durango leadoff hit. Our 6-run lead, you wouldn't think he'd be going. Here's Will Venable, who's 1 for 3. Line drive and a base hit into right. Durango stops at second. So first and second, nobody out.
Venable, he's got a 2-hit game. 2 hits here. They only have 7 on the game on the afternoon. Eckstein looking for his first hit. He reached base last time on an error by Freeze. And Dave Duncan out to visit as Trevor Miller will get up.
David Eckstein, after this year, will have 10 years of Major League service. 10 years.
That's great. And you just...
for a guy that, and he'll tell you, everybody doubted him.
It's the greatest motivation. Don't let, for you young kids, don't let somebody tell you you're not good enough. Just keep on trying, keep on persevering, and you never know.
06 World Series, he had 364, 5 games, had 8 hits in the 5 games. Then you go back to 02 with Anaheim, he hit over 300 in those 7 games.
Sure. And with Brett Butler, he didn't make his high school baseball team. And he got more than 10 years in big league service.
Eckstein had 4 years with Anaheim, and then it was 3 with the Cardinals. Spent half a year with Toronto. Finished up with Arizona. And now in his 2nd year with the Padres.
And a real leader for this young ball club, too. Brian Downing, another guy that probably over 10 years, became an excellent pinch hitter, but he didn't make his high school team in his senior year.
Here's a 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, taken low and away. Hit over 300 with the Cardinals in 2007. First time he had done that in his career. Hit 309.
He was an all-star for St. Louis in 05 and 06.
The 2-1 pitch to David. Off the glove of Freeze. Ryan to first and throws it away. Runners at first and third. And nobody out. Run scores, and that's one that Brendan would love to have back.
When Brendan makes errors, it's usually trying to be overly aggressive. And there's a great example there. There are times when it's better just put that ball in your pocket. Chopper here, it eludes Freeze, deflected it, then Brendan picks it up and tries to make the desperation throw way offline. And I'm just wondering if Foxworth, just hoping he didn't aggravate that groin a little bit. We'll take him out here because of the scenario, but so Trevor Miller will come in to face the dangerous Adrian Gonzalez.
And we'll step aside. It's 6-1 St. Louis. Transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. It gets a little bit more interesting now with Gonzalez at the plate, first and third, and nobody out. Had 40 home runs a year ago. He walked 119 times. And Miller in to face him.
There's a lot of times clubs will pitch around him, make somebody else do it. Trevor, 16th appearance. He has been outstanding at stranding inherited runners. Only 1 of 14 have scored.
10 innings. He's allowed just 6 hits.
A little curious that Tony had him warming up late last night, did not bring him in, and allowed McClellan to face a left-handed batter that got the big hit. It was Gonzalez.
And Tony did talk about that in saying that, and we had speculated the reasoning behind it was the fact that McClellan is good against left-handed batters, and that's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's sometimes you go with that matchup, but there's other times where you just feel that your pitcher is capable of getting the guy out, and more times than not, McClellan does.
And will advance Eckstein from first to second, so base hit. Could score 2 and cut this to a 6-3 game.
Watch Jason LaRue as he tries to stop this breaking ball and try to get a kick save. They say that glove is kind of, use it more as a block between the hole between your legs, but try to use any body part to stop that ball.
3-2. You see all those sliders, and then he comes in with a 88-mile-an-hour fastball.
Looks about 94.
Yeah.
Then you go up there, you've got to think, with a left-handed specialist like Miller, you're thinking that, okay, his out pitch is that slider, and he can slip some fastballs right by you.
And a ground ball back to Miller. Looks back the runner and makes the play. Perfect. So big out there in Gonzalez. Let's take a look at our pitch by pitch presented by Chevrolet.
There's a slider and just a little bit wide. Another one. You can throw those pitches out there, you'll get a few. Then a fastball, he paints the outside, misses with the slider again, then gets the fastball by him, and then another fastball, gets the out. Spears that ball, look the runner back at third, and complete the first out of the inning.
Bullpen has been very good for the Cardinals this year. 7-7 record, 2.89 ERA collectively in over 130 innings of work.
They've been outstanding. They are second, I think, to the Padres bullpen in the National League. Padres starters are best. Cardinals second.
You know, Hawksworth is the only righty to have more hits than innings pitched so far this year.
Allow more hits. And that is something that really, I mean, most pitchers today allow a ton of hits. I think part of that, too, is the defense, the way the scoring. Everybody plays balls to the side, so if it gets by him or if you dive for a ball, it's an automatic hit.
It's out of play. Chase Headley.
Official scores are very generous to the hitters.
Two and two.
Tony and Dave Duncan have gotten a lot more confidence in Miller and his ability to retire right-handed batters. He came early last season. It seemed like he was just almost used exclusively against the lefties, which he dominated. But now being able to stay in games and get righties out also.
Misses in, and the count runs full. 3-2.
Now Boggs warming up in case they want to go to a righty.
Chase Headley, the switch hitter, has struck out twice and also singled.
Boggs, after last night, chomping at the bit to get back and redeem himself.
The 3-2 pitch. Tapped out in front of the plate. Miller will get the out. Run scores to make it 6-2. Venable, the second run for the Padres. So Miller's come in and he's had 2 plays defensively that have come right back to him.
And he'll be charged with inherited runner scoring, but obviously he's done an outstanding job.
Miller came in, he got the ground out of Gonzalez, ground out of Headley, and now Nick Hundley, who was doubled back in the 6th, and that was off of Hawksworth after the 5 innings from PJ.
Can't retire this man, and done a good job of minimizing the damage.
Last year, Hundley had 71 starts behind the plate, and this year splitting time with Yorbi Torrealba. They really feel they've got a pretty good combination there.
Torrealba really has taken over and really claimed the #1 spot. And as you said, you got a very capable young backup.
Eckstein, the runner at third. Hundley is from San Diego. First year he played 60 games in 08, 78 a year ago. Floats in there for a ball, 3-1.
No relation to Randy Hundley. As Todd, Randy's son, he had the big home run year.
40 home runs.
Set a record for home runs by a catcher. It fizzled out in L.A.
Boggs is loose and ready if Tony wants to go in that direction. There's Jerry Hairston Jr. He's been a hero the last couple of nights. He wouldn't do it again, would he?
No. Fingers crossed. No.
First walk issued by Trevor Miller.
And he'll get a shot to do it against Boggs again, maybe. And now he does make the signal.
6-2, Cardinals on top. It's been a big series, first 2 nights for Jerry Hairston Jr. Early on in game 1, that was off of Adam Wainwright, his only mistake that he made that night. And then in game 2, off of Mitchell Boggs last night. The game winner in 13.
Today he's 1 for 3, so 4 for 11 in the series. Had a base hit in the second, struck out in the fourth and sixth. Fox, who came in and got the loss last night, he gave up the game-winning home run to Hairston. Gets a chance to redeem himself.
And Hairston talked about it after the game last night, the fact that he knows that Boggs throws awfully hard. Remembered him from his time in the National League Central Division. And he was ready to center up that pitch.
He was very complimentary and said he was a tough pitcher. He was able to center a ball, but he was looking fastball.
1-0 pitch by Boggs. Ground ball, base hit.
Looking fastball again, and he got one.
And now it gets interesting. It's 6-3. Tying run comes to the plate.
Fastball, and he's going to be looking for the same thing he was last night. Got to find the hole. He does so on the left side. And he's had quite the series. He's 2 home runs this year, both game winners. Now another RBI, 15th of the season.
Here's DeNorfia with 2 outs and 2 on. The Cardinals very easily could have won the first 2 games of this series. Wainwright struck out 12 in the opener. Jaime Garcia lowered his ERA to 1.14 with 6 shutout innings. He's also extended his scoreless streak to 11 innings.
How about the 3 starts by the Cardinal pitchers? Only 1 run in the 3 starts. And yet they're trying to look for their first win.
DeNorfia has a base hit. It was an infield hit, then he was robbed by Schumacher on a bouncer up the middle. He's also grounded out to third. Grounded to short. Ryan underhands to Skip. And we played 7. 3 innings in which the Cardinals have scored here today. Fox Sports Midwest brought to you by Budweiser. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. By AT&T Uverse, a better TV experience. Visit att.com for details. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Beautiful San Diego, California. And the Cardinals have 13 hits today. They lead it 6-3.
One of the other keys, Dan, too, is they've scored in 4 innings. You always want to score in at least 4 innings. Usually will throw a couple crooked numbers up there and usually will propel you to victory.
Russell is second inning of work, and Schumacher takes a ball underway here in the 8th. Skip has struck out in the second, grounded into a 3-6-3 double play in the 4th. and tripled and picked up an RBI in the 6th with 2 outs. Always fun when we head to Chicago. We'll be at Wrigley Field tomorrow afternoon. Carpenter and Randy Wells.
And you think there's going to be some fans there?
Yes, I do.
Rasmus is on deck.
Cubs winners today over the Dodgers 1-0. Milwaukee won over Houston 4-3.
As you said, Cubs are trying to put things together, right that ship. They're getting much better.
Another base hit for Schumacher. He's starting to heat it up. Another 2-hit day.
It's close to 250 now, and Rasmus going to pinch hit for Mather. He'll stay in the game, play center field.
Then we'll see Brendan Ryan. And if you're just joining us, Brendan Ryan with a 4-hit day, 3 runs scored, 4 for 4 with a solo home run.
He's having his 3rd birthday this week. Fine cameraman. Kobe's a good hitter on the road. He'll be 3rd in the National League with a .338 batting average and 5 home runs on the road. He had a single, stolen base, 2 walks in last night's loss.
I would thank our crew for their hard work and the great job that they've done.
They were singled out, and Tom Mees cutting the game book. I wonder if he talked praisingly of this crew as much as he has verbally to us.
And Rasmus draws a walk, so 1st and 2nd with nobody out. It's not what you want to do if you're San Diego. You give up that base hit. You have the walk after you pick up 3 runs, and you feel that you're edging a little bit closer back into this game. Well, Brendan Ryan has had a heck of an afternoon. Singled, then stole the base to start the game. Back in the 3rd, he singled, and then came around to score. In the 5th, a long home run. And in the 7th, he singled and scored again. So 4 for 4 for Brendan Ryan. And his average up above 200.
Above the Mendoza line. Mario Mendoza, a little light hitting shortstop with primarily the Pittsburgh. Is the benchmark of the Mendoza line, meaning 200 batting average.
It's now the 27th walk for Brendan, or for Colby Rasmus, as Brendan sacrifices, moves the runners up.
Yeah, he had 36 all last season for Rasmus, so 27, 2nd highest total in the club.
One of the really neat things the Cardinals are doing is the campaign for Stan Musial to be honored. And you can post your thoughts and comments, Cardinals.com. Grassroots effort. Stand for Stan, to celebrate the man's lifetime of achievement and service. They've had thousands of folks already come in and post. There's Ludwig, and the infield is in, and a chance at a couple of RBIs here.
Get the Medal of Freedom, the highest honor a civilian can achieve.
.1-0 pitch. Ludwig, base hit into right. 2 runs will score, and it makes it 8-3.
3-hit game for Ludwig.
And this is the offense we've been waiting for. 15 hits today.
Absolutely. Set up away. Ball kind of tails back a little bit. Up and away. Perfect pitch to go the opposite way. Little ball. Sacrifice gets both of those runners into scoring position. And then Ludwig cleans it up. Albert's having a good day. Let's see if he can continue.
Pujols with 3 RBIs. Good to see him smiling there. And you talk about Brendan Ryan. Been some long days to start this year for him. But he's such an upbeat guy.
Yes.
And keeps everybody loose.
And it's tough to smile when you're struggling mentally.
1-2 on Pujols.
Albert came into this game without an RBI in 11 straight games, and happy to say he's got 3 here today and picked up his 9th home run. Been a while since he did a home run also. 32
ribbies on the year. Hardy's prime cut of the game, and this got out in a hurry. Pujols home run.
Second deck of the facade of the second deck of the Western Metal Supply Company.
2-2. Pujols on the ground, out at second. And a double play. Cardinals add to the lead thanks to Ryan Ludwig. It's 8-3 midway through 8. Colby Rasmus stays in the game after his walk. He'll take over in center for Joe Mather. And Boggs has the 8th for himself. Oscar Salazar looks at a strike. Salazar made a start in left in game 2 of this series. 1 for 3. Salazar last year, 55 games with the Padres. Was acquired from Baltimore in exchange for Clay Meredith. Began last year with the Orioles' AAA affiliate in Norfolk. 1-2.
You know, Boggs has a terrific future ahead of him. We talked to Jeff Murphy, the Cardinals bullpen catcher. You talk to the catchers, and they just say he has electric stuff. He's still trying to learn as there's that fine line of trying to overthrow pitches. You squeeze it and you lose the movement. But when he doesn't try to overthrow it, the ball really does move.
A 2-2 pitch. Base hit into center for Salazar.
And Reyes is warming up. And you watch the movement on this, but the ball's up, and it becomes a much more hittable pitch. You get that ball down a little bit more, and that ball just will really take off and dive.
LaRue out to talk.
They've got, as I said, Reyes warming up, so maybe just a stall tactic to give him a few more tosses down there. Now he's saying he's ready, and Tony will be making a pitching change.
So he'll go with the lefty. Denny's Reyes coming in. 8-3 Cardinals here in the 8th. Nine walks. He has struck out 10. And he saw the opponent's batting average .089. What a year he has had so far.
He's been very reliable. He had 75 appearances last season. Second year in a row he has had that many appearances, a career high. And Minnesota thought he was expendable, and the Cardinals really got a good deal in getting Reyes.
This is Durango, a switch hitter. Be very tough to turn to now. Third baseman Freeze has to play in over at third.
I'm saying this guy, he can drop down a bunt anytime.
Hits it on the ground. Out at second, and not even a throw from Schumacher. Smart play, and Durango is the force play at second. So out number one here in the bottom of the 8th.
I get the feeling that Reyes will get through this 8th inning. Maybe a perfect time to see a major league debut of Fernando Salas.
5-run lead, why not? Will Venable, 2 hits today. He's also flied to left and struck out. There's Salas, who was activated, brought up today.
He's a closer for Memphis and on a nice roll in May, so earned this promotion.
10 1/3 scoreless innings in 11 games with 1 walk, 11 strikeouts, and 6 May saves. 1-0 pitch to Will Venable. 2-0 with 1 out, runner at first.
Reyes was from Mexico and signed originally with the Dodgers, and Salas was picked up from the Mexican League, purchased from Saltillo.
Team high 11th start of the year tomorrow for Carpenter. On the air at 12:30.
Carps had good success against the Cubs.
9-3 ERA. That's under 3 against Chicago.
He was just absolutely dominated against the Central Division.
The 3-1 pitch to Will Venable. And a walk. So first and second with one out. Here's David Eckstein. Reached on an error back in the 5th. Also singled in the 7th. 2 previous times he fly to center, fly to right. Be the 11th career start at Wrigley Field for Carpenter tomorrow. And he is 6-2 at Wrigley. Strike 1 on David. I don't know about you, but I was disappointed when Eckstein left St. Louis.
I think we both are. You know, a real fan favorite. You always a guy that's an overachiever.
Freeze to second. And a double play. Sends us to the 9th. 8-3 Cardinals.
On the post-game edition of Cardinals Live, Pat Parris and Rick Horton are back in the studio. They'll take a look at Brendan Ryan's huge day, a huge series for Cardinals starting pitching. They'll break that down. Plus, they'll get you ready for the Cubs. All that and more coming up after the game. For now, we go back to the booth and Dan and Al, guys.
Jim, thanks. It's all coming up on the post-game show, and here's Holiday. We start play here in the 9th. And a new pitcher in for the Padres. Edward Mojica. Seen him throw in this series.
He got the win last night. Appearing for the 20th time, 2-0. The 23 strikeouts to 3 walks. He has allowed 6 home runs.
Up the middle. Hairston makes the play. Holiday retired for the first out. Cardinals have 15 base hits. San Diego with 10. Mott getting loose in the pen. And the Redbirds trying to hold on for P.J. Walters. That's one of the stories in this game. 5 scoreless innings. Brendan Ryan, a 4-hit day. Included in there was a home run. Pujols, a home run. 3 hits, 3 RBIs.
He's another multi-hit game as he's 2 for 4. maintaining that .315 average, most among rookies. Second most RBIs at 28.
2-0. Mahika is 2-0 on the year, 20th appearance, 23 innings. And opponents only hitting .205 against him. Freeze pops it up. And that'll find the seats out of play.
Top two bullpens in the National League. Padres are number one, Cardinals second. And 3 runs have been charged to the Cardinal bullpen and 4 runs to the Padres.
2-1 pitch. 2-2. Took something off it. Having lost 2 in a row, that that gets at Tony La Russa. Wouldn't think, Al, he's going to take any chances here with Salas, so he'll go with a guy that has been up here.
And I think it's also too, you're still trying to get Mott to be a substitute, closer when Franklin needs a day off. So it's important to have some of those 9th innings. Get the final 3 outs of a game. Get those handshakes. Get accustomed to that. But you're also right. You want to stop a losing streak. And John Jay will pinch it here.
John was featured on the pregame show. Jim Hayes always has a live guest, and John Jay was his guest today. He'll fly out to center. Bottom of the 9th coming up, and an 8-3 Cardinals lead. Two and 1, 17 and 2/3 innings, and he has 20 strikeouts. And opponents only hitting .227 against him.
He fanned both batters he faced last night and has not allowed an inherited runner to score this year.
So quick turnaround for the Cardinals tomorrow. Get in late tonight or early in the morning, if you will, and right back at them with the Cubs at 1:20. We'll come your way at 12:30 with our pregame show.
And we had 3 weekends in Chicago this year, and with the very first preliminary schedule for next season, if it holds, the Cardinals will have 3 weekend series against the Cubs next year. That would be outstanding, wouldn't it?
It sure would. I'm always curious about the interleague play and where the Cardinals might wind up, who would come to St. Louis. And again, we have not been to Anaheim and we have not been to Baltimore.
And I think the Rangers have not been to St. Louis. And the Yankees and Red Sox have only been there one time.
Gonzalez and a fair ball. Pujols stays with it, throws low, and Mott, nice play at first.
Tough play when you're running over there to cover first base, and then you get a throw right on the bag. But they make it, so a very fine play at both ends.
Here's your former catcher showing some good athletic ability here.
Watch for this throw right there. All in one motion, steps on the bag and catches the ball. Got to get over there, but you're expecting something chest high.
He may have tagged the bag with his glove.
I think he tagged the bag with a glove and also had a foot on it, too.
Yeah.
But it was tagged the bag with a glove as he caught the ball.
Here's Chase Headley. And that's hit out of play. Well, if you're Salas, you're down there, you're nervous, your heart is racing. You're thinking about, am I going to get in the game? And it doesn't look to be the case.
Right now, we hope he does not.
Chase Headley is 1 for 4. That pitch has gotten a little bit better for Mott.
He's working on a couple different variations of this breaking ball. And the only way to improve upon it is to keep on throwing.
Strike 2. Headley with an RBI today, back in the 7th. That's when they picked up their 3 runs. He struck out twice and also singled.
Yesterday, the Memphis Redbirds lost for just the second time in their last 11 games. They dropped a 5-3 decision at Fresno.
In the air out to left. And Holiday makes the catch. And there's 2 outs. We turn to our player of the game, presented by Budweiser. Brendan Ryan, 4 for 4 with a solo home run. A sacrifice, 3 runs scored. It's our Budweiser player of the game.
Sack doesn't show up, but that big, but it did produce another couple runs. It was after he moved 2 runners into second to third, and then Ludwig came through with a 2-run single.
Here's Nick Hundley with 2 outs. 8-3 Cardinals.
Memphis is 25-20, tied for second. Springfield, AA. They're 25-20. They're in second place.
And a grounder. Ryan to his left, spinning to first. And out. Oh, what a play. And the Cardinals salvage a game in this series on a tremendous finish from Brendan Ryan. Wow, what a play this is.
See if Albert isn't juggling this ball, but terrific play. He's got in the glove.
How about that play?
Yep, right up the middle. So right after he gets our player of the game, he makes a sensational defensive play to end it.
3 hours, 20 minutes, and the Cardinals win it 8-3. It's off to Chicago. Postgame show coming up.